Hello, and welcome to the Math 0361 Practice Test 4 review. So congratulations to all that's still there. I'm sure you can see the light at the end of the tunnel as the semester is about to come to a close. So, let's see if we can have some momentum before the final exam. In question 1, they'd like us to determine if negative 2, 5 is a solution to both equations. What we're going to do is replace x with negative 2 and y with 5. If we get the answers they have, the answer is yes. If we get something different, the answer is no. So we'll start with this one over here. So we're going to have 2 times negative 2 plus 5. 2 times negative 2 is negative 4, and negative 4 plus 5 is 1. So good so far. Next, we'll do 5 times negative 2 plus 3 times 5. 5 times 2 is negative 10. 3 times 5 is 15. And that equals to 5, which is also what they have. So the answer to this is yes. Okay, we're going to do the same thing in number 2. This time we will replace x with negative 5, y with 2. So we're going to get negative 5 minus 2 times 2. Negative 5 is negative 5, and negative 2 times 2 is negative 4, and negative 5 minus negative 4 is negative 9. That's a problem. We said the answer was supposed to be negative 4, so this is not a match. So the answer is no. You'll notice that I didn't bother doing 3x plus y equals negative 8. There's a reason. In order for this to be a yes, everything has to work. As soon as one equation doesn't work, it doesn't matter what anything else is afterwards. The answer is no. Question 3 would like us to find the x-intercepts and y-intercepts of the equation. You know, we kind of did this in practice test 3 already, but it's the same method. For the x-intercept, what I like to do is replace y with 0. So if you do that, you get 4x minus 2 times 0 equals 16. But 2 times 0 is 0, so that goes away, leaving 4x equals 16. If you divide by 4, you get x equals 4. That is the x-intercept. For the y-intercept, we're going to replace x with 0. So you get 4 times 0 minus 2y equals 16. 4 times 0 is 0, so that goes away. And from there, we can divide by negative 2. So you get y equals negative 8. And those are your x-intercepts and your y-intercepts. Let's do the same thing for number 4. Again, first replace y with 0. So you get 5x plus 4 times 0 equals 40. 4 times 0 is 0, so that goes away. And divide by 5. 40 divided 5 is 8. Now replace x with 0. So you're going to get 5 times 0 plus 4y equals 40. Again, 5 times 0 is 0. And from here, divide by 4. So y would equal to 10. Number 5. Let's do the same thing. So, first I'm going to replace x with 0. And if you do, you get y equals to negative 3 times 0 plus 5. Well, negative 3 times 0 is 0. And look who's left. Y equals 5. That's your y-intercept. Okay, now let's replace y with 0. If you do that, you get 0 equals negative 3x plus 5. So what I'd like to do right now is move 3x over. That way 3x will equal to 5. Divide by 3. So x is 5 over 3, a fraction. Yeah, fractions are okay. You can get that sometimes. Number 6. They would like us to solve the linear equation by graphing. And when letters are on the same side, like they are here, the easiest way to do this is replace x with 0 and replace y with 0. We have two equations, so let's do this one first. So if you have x equals 0, that means you're going to have 0 plus y equals 1, which means y is 1. So your first point is 0, 1. If you were to then do y equals 0, you would get x plus 0 equals 1, which means x equals 1. So you have a point at 1, 0. Two good points. Let's make a graph. 0, 1 is 1 straight up. 1, 0 is 1 to the right. And then we'll connect the dots. Let's see if I can do that. Something like this. Okay, looking like that. Okay, now let's deal with x minus y equals 3. So if x is 0, that means negative 1y equals 3. And dividing by negative 1 means y equals negative 3. So you'll have a point at 0, negative 3. Now if y were to equal 0, that means x would equal to 3. So you have a point at positive 3, 0. Let's graph. 0, negative 3 is 3 down. 1, 2, 3. Put a blue dot there. 3, 0 is 3 to the right. 1, 2, 3. Then we'll connect those dots. Something like that. And like this. Okay. Alright, so notice where it crosses, where the red and blue cross. It crosses right here, where I have it in green. And it looks like the x value is 2 and the y value is negative 1. So the answer is 2, negative 1. Alright, number 7, we're going to do the same thing. Let's start with the equation on top. So, if you have x equals 0, that means you're going to be left with 0 minus y equals 1, which you don't need the 0 anymore, so y would equal to negative 1. So you have a point at 0, negative 1. Okay, if you did y equals 0, that means you're going to be left with 2x minus 0 equals 1. You don't need the 0, so that's 2x equals 1. And if you divide by 2, you're not going to like this. You're going to get x equals 1 half. So you have a point at 1 half, 0. Let's plot it. 1 half, 0 is only 1 half step to the right. It's hard to write. In fact, I'm having difficulty right now. Just won't let me. Like right there. And then 0, negative 1 is 1 down. And now we can plot the points, connect the dots. So it's careful. Gotta be very careful here. It's easier if you have a ruler, by the way, but I don't have one. Alright, so for x equals 0, that means you're going to get negative 2x plus 0 equals 3. And then divide by negative 2, no, actually that's for y equals 0. Well, we'll do y equals 0. You're going to get x equals negative 3 over 2. So you have a point at negative 3 over 2, comma 0. And now if you replace x with 0, you're going to get negative 2 times 0 plus y equals 3. 2 times 0 is 0, so you're just left with y equals 3. So 0, 3. Let's plot that. 0, 3 is 3 straight up. 1, 2, 3. Negative 3 over 2, that's the same as 1.5 to the left. So that's a 1 full and then halfway. Alright, so I got to connect those dots. Let's see, careful. 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 Alright, so notice something interesting about the lines. They're parallel to each other. The red and the blue never cross. If there's no cross, that means there's no answer. No solution. Okay, so for number 8, we're going to do the same thing. Alright, so in number 8, when y is alone on one side, the best way to do this is the slope-intercept form. So notice that the intercept is 2. That's the y-intercept. So let's find out where y is 2. It's just 2 straight up. 1, 2. Alright, and then 2/3 means go 2 up and 3 to the right. So from the point, 1, 2 up, 1, 2, 3 to the right. And then we'll connect the dots. Okay, so for the second equation, 8x minus 12y equals negative 24. For that, what we'll do is we'll have x equals 0 and have y equals 0. When x is 0, that means you're left with 0 minus 12y equals negative 24. And if you divide by negative 12, you get y equals positive 2. So one point is at 0, 2. If you were to do y equals 0, you're going to get 8x minus 0 equals 24. And then divide by 8. So x will equal to 3. So you're going to have a point at, negative 3. Negative 3. It should be negative. So you're going to have a point at negative 3, 0. Well, watch what happens when you plot that. 0, 2 is this same point that we plotted earlier. It's right there. And negative 3, 0 is 3 to the left. 1, 2, 3. It's the same line. When you graph the same line, that is something called infinite solutions. Alright, so that concludes part 1 of the practice test 4 review. Go to the Google Sites website and tune in to part 2. Thank you.